Oh, we can, because I have not run the vacuum robot in here in a minute, clearly.
Ashley, my mother says she got a rhythm with the tism in our family, and there are many ways that I daily rhythm with the tism, but you just pointed out one. Listen, I love animals. I love animals from afar. I want animals to be very happy and well treated somewhere other than where I am is where I really want them to be. However, I live in a family full of genuine animal lovers who want
Yeah.
them on them at all times and around in multiple forms. And thus, we find ourselves with a very large dog and two cats. I say a very large. It's a shepherd mix. Anyway, the cats, though. You mentioned cat litter. And I'm not talking about poop, right? Poop is one
No.
thing. If you have poop on your floor, that's a whole, everybody would have a problem with poop.
We've got a
Friend,
problem.
even clean cat litter. Cat litter out of the bottle. If you happen to spill that cat litter, if my foot gets on that cat litter, it'll ruin my whole day. It might be the worst part of my week, Ashley. As fascism descends around us,
Right.
the cat litter foot might be the worst part of my week still.
So my sister-in-law posted this really, really funny thing today that killed me, and then I had to share with Brett immediately because it was so me. And it was like something along the lines of, my toxic trait is that if anything remotely inconvenient happens during my day, I am unable to cook dinner. And I was like, that's so me. I'll come home from work and I was just like, I had to park further away than usual. I just can't cook today. It's crazy. But yeah, I had to go get my slippers. I had to get my slippers. There's some kitty litter under this desk, and I can't abide. I will lose my mind. It's all I'll think about. It still might be all I think about.
Yeah, just that it happened and has now been solved, but still.
Yeah.
Oh my, what I've lived through. Anyway, I know, listen, we both hear the privileged position from which cat litter can affect us at that level.
100%.
We're just also knowledgeable of who we are. Know thyself, I think, is the first credo.
Right. I mean, this neurospiciness will not take care of itself. You have to take care of it.
Welcome to the Articulate Coven, the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Immortal Universe. The Articulate Coven is Ashley and Joel, but it's supported by listeners just like you. Find out more at articulatecoven.com/join.
Okay, first of all, hello and welcome to
guys.
the Articulate Coven. We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Folks, we are starting the second season of Interview with the Vampire, our official rewatch. It occurred to me as I was watching this the other day, this is the first time we've talked about season 2 with the perspective of having seen the whole thing. So huzzah,
Yes,
excited about that. Also, we've got some good feedback on our most recent episode in particular that I wanted to mention here. First of all, Books, Gurs, and Purrs got a they got a real chuckle out of the idea of a vampiric cold plunge. I can't even remember what I referenced, but I said it's effectively Louis taking a cold plunge.
Yeah.
Shacky whack. And this is a great point, I thought. If Louis is watching Claudia poison the vampire that he loves most, Louis might decide to cut that vampire in a way that lets all the poison run out and gives him time to get Claudia out of Dodge before the angry vampire wakes up. Just saying. We talked about the beauty of the strategic cut. We talked about Lestat saying specifically, I'm glad it was you here. And maybe he was like, I'm glad it was you, because she would have ran me through the heart, cut my head off, and thrown it away.
And made sure to burn me on the way out of town.
Okay. The Dream of Arcadia says, I think there may be something about Armand not being in direct sunlight. Maybe that will factor in somehow, or maybe not. We shall see. And Mel Rosina said, I was thinking that maybe Farid created for him a way to protect himself from sunlight, and he's just a lying liar who lies.
That's very
for
Armand.
Sure would be like Armand to add in a power that he actually doesn't have, and for that to come back to bite him. Now, from later in season 2, we do know that he's at least got more resilience to sunlight than Louis does, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's not impossible either way. I do think that will come into play in the show. I am excited to see how Rowland explains it all and makes it all make sense.
Yes. Make it make sense. That's all I ask. Just make it make sense.
All right. Before we start our discussion of season 2, episode 1, I want to talk about the schedule for a second. So we've mentioned previously, we'll finish our rewatch here, and before season 3 starts, we will have 3 episodes to fill. We had some great feedback from patrons, lots of good suggestions actually, but 3 that immediately came to the front as like, oh yeah, that's obviously what we should do. So first of all, we'll do a feedback episode, a speculation episode, right? So we'll put up a thread. We'll say, hey, go and tell us what you think season 3 is going to bring, or you know, what you want to see, the biggest question you need answered, et cetera, et cetera. We'll talk about all of that in one full episode. We'll do the 94 film again. We'll watch the 94 film, chat about it. Here's the kicker on that, because I was like, well, we've done that twice. What else would we say? Judah's going to do the episode with us, Ashley. So it'll be you, me, and Judah.
I'm so
I asked him
excited
today to make sure. Yeah, I figured, I think people will get a kick out of that. Also, specifically,
I will get a kick out of that.
He's never read the books, so he'll be going into that 94 film with just this series to speak for. I'm trying to think. There aren't any real revelations for future stories in the 94 film that will be unfolded for him. And there will be lots of things left out from that 94 film that would be like, man, they didn't cover blah, blah, blah at all. Anyway, I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then let's do Pride and Prejudice, the one featuring Jennifer Ely. We're going to introduce ourselves to Gabrielle for season 3. So let's do that Pride and Prejudice episode. We talked about maybe doing it in the future. I haven't seen it since it came out, right? It's like 94.
It's so divine. It's so perfect. I rewatched it recently, actually, like in the past year.
Sweet.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It is such a good watch. It's just brilliant, and she's lovely. She's just lovely as Elizabeth. I love her so much. And Colin Firth could get it. I mean, hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, he is the definitive Mr. Darcy to me. If you've not seen this version and you're all up on the chin acting version with Keira Knightley, I get that. It's lovely. It's great. If you've not lived until you've seen this man walk out of a pond in a very wet shirt.
I mean, also, like the 94 film for Interview with the Vampire and now this modern series, they let the thing breathe a little bit, right? I mean, it's not 15 episodes, but, you know, it's 2 full-length pieces anyway.
Yeah, they do let it breathe. Okay. It's great.
I feel like that would just be lots of fun, especially since she is going to be a major player, at least for the next season or 2.
I'm so excited.
Let's get into our discussion of season 2, episode 1 of Interview with the Vampire.
They get so much in this episode. So much happens. Brett and I watched it last night, and we were both just like, damn, how is that only 40-something minutes? Like, it just...
Right?
It didn't feel long, like, oh, this feels long. But it was just like, man, we did a lot in that short amount of time.
All right, first of all, going into this episode specifically, I asked Judah, I was like, what are you most excited about? He said, I cannot wait for the fallout of Daniel pushing these two. And like, why are they even going to continue? I'm assuming they're going to continue the interview because there's another season of it, right?
There's another season, and it's still called Interview with the Vampire.
What's going to happen? Yeah, what's going to happen? He was very, very interested in that. And one of the things that he and I talked about over this whole episode was like the brilliance of putting Daniel in a position where he has nothing to lose. So he does not give a fuck whether he is pleasing these guys. And even though they could both kill him at any point, and one of them now, especially, he knows sort of seems to want to kill him. He's still, Judah was like, the audacity to be sitting in front of someone who's almost 600 years old and be like, we'll get to you in a minute. But
yeah, disregard.
But it's
I
perfect,
love
though,
it.
right?
It is.
And it's fitting.
It is. Well, and the other thing, this is a little bit one of those, they don't know I know, they know I know kind of situations. Like they don't know that, I mean, they know now that they've introduced him as Armand the vampire. They don't know that he remembers seeing Armand.
No, they do,
He
because
hasn't
Armand
revealed
even
that.
says it. No, Armand says it even. Armand says, this time I won't save you like I did last time, or whatever. And then in this episode, he says, unworthy in San Francisco, unworthy in Dubai.
Yeah.
So
but I
it's
didn't know if that means
understood
that,
that
like,
the three of them were there.
That they all, I just don't know if they know how much he remembers yet.
I think you're right in that there may be more to, although I still think that the full memories have not unlocked, right? That comes a little bit later this season.
He doesn't remember everything
when he
yet.
has the flashback. Yeah. But I do think there is some speciousness on exactly how much of the past has been unveiled. But Armand, Daniel knows that Armand was there, and Armand and Louis both know that Daniel remembers that Armand was there, at least at the bar. But I think they're all, yes, you're right. I think they're still a little bit on the back foot. Okay. I mentioned to Judah, he doesn't have the reference, I don't think, for Anthony Bourdain. But maybe we've talked about this, but maybe we haven't in the past. Did the decision come? Did they go first, we want to make this a second telling? Or did they go first, we want the interviewer to be Anthony Bourdain? Like to go at the guys, right? And to do that, the justification was that it was a second interview, so Daniel's older now or whatever, right? I'm not sure which way it went.
I feel like the retelling had to have come first, and then they just lucked into the other part kind of thing. Or they developed into the other part, and they decided the kind of type actor they wanted for that, and then went for the best one you could find. Bogosian does not disappoint in any moment of this show.
It's such a good fit. He's just the whole... You ever read Moby Dick, Real Rashid?
And I forgot how funny it is. Him calling him Real Rashid is so fucking funny to me. Like, it really cracks my ass up. I just think it's hilarious. It's so like smug and like it's irritated. Like he's just irritated with all of them.
Yeah. All right. We start with, I do not dream. Claudia in her diaries says that, and then Louis says, I can confirm that. Except he can't. All right. We dealt with this some in season 1, the Odyssey of Recollection. Was it raining, Louis, etc. The end with the, where does the trash go, Louis? All right. So we've seen this some, but in this episode, I think we are hearing the writing team especially reconfirm, this show is about the fact that Louis does not know everything that he thinks he knows about what happened before.
Well, and as he's coming into what he feels like are more accurate memories, like there's that amazing scene that he and Daniel have towards the end of the episode where he's like, I want this. I want to remember. I want like he knows it's like having a part of your life that's been stolen and you don't know, you've got these blanks that you want to fill in. And that scene was so incredible to rewatch. Knowing especially how the rest of the season goes, it was just like, oh, motherfucker.
So Judah, it was one of his big questions at the end of the episode. He says, okay, it's clear to me that Louis is misunderstanding or misremembering a lot of his past, even though he had these diaries for years, decades, whatever, of Claudia's to go back on and reflect on. His immediate idea was trauma response, right? There must be some gigantic trauma that has caused him. And I just thought, I was like, hey, good media literacy, man. You went right to PTSD. And yes, actually. It's so wonderful to watch this all unfold for him and for him
awesome.
To see it happen and to put the pieces together. Do you dream? Do you remember your dreams, Ashley? I know we've talked about your sleep paralysis before.
Oh God,
which is its own thing.
I have sleep paralysis. But my demon and I are copacetic. It's fine. I do dream. I don't always remember my dreams, and I'm a sleep talker. I talk a lot. so like sometimes I'll start talking and Brett will be like, "You're having a dream, roll over." Usually if it's because I'm on my back, which is a bad place for me to sleep, that's when I talk. That's when I have sleep paralysis. So he's just like, "Get on your side, everything will be fine." But yeah, I'm a pretty active dreamer. I've always been a pretty active dreamer. And I do have those weird moments of like deja vu where you're like, "Have I dreamed? Did I dream this?" Or like, how does this feel so deja vu-y, you know? So I've always had pretty vivid, and I had a recurring dream for a while. I haven't had it in years, but I had a recurring dream for a while.
Okay, I have like 3 or 4 recurring. They're not all literally falling dreams, but they're all those start of your sleep dreams, right?
Yeah.
I had one for a long time when I was a kid, all the way into college, where I was sitting on a giant stool playing drumsticks on top of the roof of my garage, like my childhood garage on the home, and then the stool would disappear and I would fall, except I was falling from 45 feet instead of the 10 feet of that ceiling. Anyway,
I hate that feeling.
And then the other one was Gremlins based. It was the first Gremlins movie when the gremlin shoots the bow and arrow at the kid and it like almost hits him or whatever. I had a falling dream that would end in the arrow presumably hitting me, but I would wake before it would or whatever. Yeah,
oh my gosh.
Gremlin would chase me through Kmart.
Yeah.
I don't remember my dreams almost ever now because I'm a cannabis user. I vape or smoke or whatever, and I believe it has some effect on REM sleep, but it also definitely has an effect on your cognizance and your memory of dreams. I know that that's the case. It doesn't stop my dreams because, like you, I talk sometimes.
Oh man, yeah. Pretty surprised I remember as much as I do.
Yeah.
But they go very quickly too. Like I might wake up and go, "That was weird," and then I'm like, "What the fuck happened in that?" I have a lot of dreams. Where I'm back in college, and I'm like, I don't know where my dorm is. I haven't been going to class. It's like I've just been dropped in there like weirdly, and like the campus doesn't ever look right. It never looks right. It's always so strange. And I've missed like a bunch of classes I haven't dropped. I have those dreams probably once a month. And I can always remember those because I'm like, oh, God.
Could you imagine never dreaming? Would you look forward to sleep or would it terrify you when the day broke? I don't know. I think if I never dream, first of all, if you never dream,
you don't know what you're missing. You don't know you're missing.
Yeah, you don't know
anything.
what you're missing. So one of my daughters does not visualize thought in the same way that most people do, right? She can't really like picture a cow. It's very word based for her. I can't remember exactly what the word is for it, but yeah, she doesn't visualize in her imagination the way that most of us do. And even to talk to her about it is sort of hard for me to wrap my mind around because it is so fundamental. And I think it would but for her, she's like, I hear you explaining it, and like that's great. There's like a little movie playing.
It's not like I don't know what a cow looks like, Dad.
Yeah, that was her thing. She was like, no, I know what a cow looks like, but anyway, it's just doesn't. The wiring is not exactly the same, right? But for her,
well, and I have a dear friend.
She's not missing anything.
Right. She doesn't. Well, and like, what are you missing, really? Would I make a little picture instead of seeing COW? Like, I don't know that you're really missing anything. Your way of thinking is probably much more succinct than mine. And I have a dear friend who has night terrors, which are like nightmares pumped up to the nth degree, you know? And I think if I had that kind of shit going on, I probably wouldn't want to dream very much. You know, until I figured out sleep paralysis, I really didn't want to sleep very much, to be honest.
Well, and that goes to what we realize later in this episode is she is dreaming. Matter of fact, she's having a nightmare in this one particular instance. What if she's specifically telling Louis that she never dreams because all she has is nightmares? Like, what a terrible, again, Louis rewriting himself or somebody rewriting for Louis a more pleasant version of all of this than what he actually had.
Or at this point, she doesn't trust him enough to tell him what she's dreaming about.
It was interesting to me in this moment. I noticed that Louis is holding the diary as we cut back to the table, he's holding the diary and then he sits it down, but he's also eating. He's got a bowl of blood in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so Daniel needed gloves. I mean, Daniel didn't wear the gloves for very long or whatever, but was it theater for them that they were like, treat these like they're museum artifacts? Or
Yeah.
did Daniel's disregard change their own behaviors? I wonder.
That's a really interesting question. But you're right. They do, from the beginning, I do think part of it is theatricality for Armand. I mean, my God, he does love to put on a little show. Especially if it can involve intimidation, like that's part of it too. It's like a control thing. Like I'm controlling how you interact with these items even.
You mentioned it earlier, but we get our first disregard here. I
love it.
I love the idea though that Armand thought there was a universe in which he was going to hang out during the sessions still, now that everybody knew who he was, but he also wasn't going to be part of the book or the recordings or the interviews.
But I am going to make my commentary. Like, don't think I'm going to sit here and be quiet. I'm going to have opinions as we go along.
Yeah, like what a dickhead. Whether it had happened at this point, I guess it had happened at least for 10 hours, right? Because he's like, thank you for the 8 hours yesterday and the 2 hours today or whatever. But still, I would have had enough of it if I was Daniel as well. Claudia was a thing of little indecision. All right, I asked Judah at the end of this episode, I said, so what do you think about Delaney Hales? Obviously, small sample size here. You've had 7 episodes of Bailey Bass, just 1. He was very taken by Delaney, though. He did notice that they seem to be leaning into different aspects of the character. We talked about, like, is it Daniel now has a different frame of reference for who Claudia is or just what she's capable of or whatever. So he's redrawn her in his mind, literally. Is it that they had the recast behind the scenes? And so they're like, let's lean into what this actress is best at, et cetera, et cetera. We talked about all those aspects, but he said it took him like 30 seconds and he just, that's just Claudia. There was one moment in particular, he said, when she was speaking to it's when she says the line to Louis about, I've known exactly 4 vampires and all of them have been the worst.
Yeah, you all suck.
There's some word in there, he said, that her accent stuck out to him in a way that he was like, oh, this is a different person. But anyway, he was like, man, they just hit the ground running and just did it. But I feel like that line is a perfect example. Claudia was a thing of little indecision. Claudia in season 1 is a thing of much indecision, in fact, right? There's literally the scene where she is talking to herself and acting frantic and ends up burning herself in the sunlight.
Yeah. I think part of this, too, is, though, that she has intrinsically changed on a lot of different levels. And coming out of that and this rage that she has at Louis about not burning Lestat, still not being in control as much as she wants to be, but I feel like she's definitely having to be the one that leads them through this part of the story, because he is like he's broken. He's a bit broken, and he's certainly not the caretaker. He's not her big brother. Right now she's acting like his big sister, So she has had to become a creature of little indecision at this point, She makes that choice to go to sneak off and find these vampires in the woods, She makes those choices to do that. He doesn't want to go fuck with these things. He's like, let's just get the hell out of here. This doesn't involve us. This has got nothing to do with us.
He says specifically at one point, I endured this all for Claudia. And not just that he didn't want to do it. The only reason he put up with it is because she was desperate to do with it. And so he continued to.
They're not having fun. This is not European vacation, National Lampoon style. It is not a fun trip. Like, it's in the midst of the most horrifying war our world's ever seen. And, and they're traipsing through fucking, some of the worst parts of it. It's just... Oh, and they're black, shit, that's the other thing. It's like just running into that occasionally, being like, you're from Belgium? Okay, sure. Like.
Ashley, this is God, this is gallows humor for sure. But you said the worst war the world has ever seen, and I immediately went to the Simpsons
Yeah.
meme of Homer leaning down. No, the worst world war that the world has seen so far.
So far. Yeah. Well, you know, tomorrow's another day, kids, but
he asked me if we could go home. Home. Can there be a more offensive question?
it's not her home. She's trying to find home. She's trying to find a home. That is not fucking home. A house you never felt safe in is not a home.
In that scene that you referenced earlier where Louis is crying and he says, I want to remember, thank you for this, et cetera, that whole part, he specifically says, I understand these diaries much better now. And I thought of this line specifically. He asked me if we could go home. Home, could there be a more offensive question? Okay, in the version of this that Louis has lived with for however long he's lived with it now, 50, 60 years, I would think. Well, maybe not that long, I get. Yeah, no, close to that. However long it's been, though, that he's lived with this version of this, he has to have been puzzled by why Claudia turns against him. God, we killed Lestat together. I saved you from Lestat, and we went all
I'm
over
enduring
Europe.
all of this for you.
Yeah, I tried so hard, and things went badly, but none of it was my fault. And now, again, even before the real revelations of this episode, he has the new frame of I very specifically didn't kill Lestat. And I knew that I didn't kill Lestat. And I traipsed our asses all over Europe, carrying around his ghost with me because I was so worried that motherfucker was coming to get us. Like, he didn't have that frame of reference previously. So we talked about, like, Daniel not knowing until this point that they had killed Lestat or tried to kill Lestat. Neither did Louis, effectively. I mean, not the way that it happened, at least. He didn't understand how it had happened either until this second interview.
That he gave him an exit strategy.
So crazy. So crazy. Okay, I don't believe we've talked about this before, but there's an offhanded comment. Daniel calls Armand Shah Rukh Khan over here, and I was like, who? I was thinking it was a historical reference of some sort that I didn't know. He's a Bollywood actor, he's one of the biggest. He's about 60 years old, and Judah and I were flipping through pictures of him. He does look a lot like Asad, so it's not.
That's hilarious.
I mean, especially as a young man, he did. He's 60 now, but like, yeah, it's a pretty good reference, actually.
I love it. That's hilarious.
Okay, Louis says, I had taken 7,000 souls by then, but Lestat was the only one that felt like murder. First of all, I think I had vastly underestimated the number of people they're killing. I don't know. We get the one time we get Claudia had 53 bodies or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been over an incredibly short period of time for it to have been so noteworthy, apparently.
I mean, well, they do wipe out that entire, like, squadron of Nazis at that checkpoint, which was really satisfying, so maybe they're just doing the Lord's work out there.
Oh,
Killing the evildoer, Joel! There were a lot of evildoers to kill in Europe, and...
When the teeth close in on the beginning and Judah noticed the second skyline, he was like, oh, when the plane starts flying through, he's like, oh, it's the war, that's right. And I'm trying to think, it's as that opening shot was descending down on the on the battlefield, and then we're getting the narration over the top of it. He looked at me and he like threw his hand up. He went, they're going to kill Nazis, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, baby.
Surprisingly few, honestly. I do remember us thinking at the end of season 1, how many episodes will it be that they make a Nazi killing John across Europe? They really leave a lot of that off screen, unfortunately.
I did really want an Inglourious Bastards type adventure for the two of them to go on, but I will take what we get. That, we didn't need to move the story along, I suppose, when they're only giving us 7 and 8 episodes a season.
To be fair, there's no Nazi killing in Anne's book, you know.
No, it's not even during this time period, but
yeah, the times are different.
I was willing to roll with that story change.
I agree. The severity with which they dispatch these Nazis, I think, shows us they are well practiced at it.
Yes.
Let's put it like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Bombs in the ground, wolves, maybe German soldiers that don't know war is over, maybe something worse. That's how it went. We should get every detail right. Again, I love the unraveling, the reinforcing, the reminding. Hey, have you noticed that Louis don't know what the fuck was going on? He doesn't have his story straight. Isn't that weird? He's a vampire. Aren't they supposed to be perfect? Interesting.
I'd forgotten how much I loved that Amelia, was that her name? The innkeeper woman?
Yes.
She was so fantastic. I loved that character. That little stop in that moment to experience some like community and humanity in the midst of all the shit that they've been in was kind of nice to see, even though we know they're not human. They still need those moments, you know? That's what draws them to Paris. It seems like less of a shit show than everywhere else.
It's also another example, I think, of this show showing us the genuine human nature and high quality of people on the fringes of society. Like think about Bricks from season 1. Minor characters, she only shows up a handful of times, but like she's a good person and just trying to do her best in a shitty situation with less power or authority or opportunity than Louis has. You know?
She's getting hers and taking care of the ones around her.
And so is Amelia here on the fringes of war and now occupation in Romania. Interesting, though, when Louis says we should get every detail right, again, strong, hard eyes from Armand. And then he suggests maybe now's a good time to take a break, Louis.
Maybe we should take a
From
break.
the other end of the couch, Judah's like, that's not suspicious at all.
No.
Again, Daniel is just on the offensive. He's not leaning back. He doesn't say that's not suspicious, but he is driving the bus anyway and immediately takes it back from Armand and moves forward. And he catches Armand's eyes too. Like he sees what's going on there immediately.
Yeah, he's not. And I mean, I think part of it too is for him to like, because he was so offended that I'm not your fucking boy, you know, like you guys need to realize that I'm not the same guy I was, you know. I'm not a fucking kid. I am actually really good at this job now. Really good at it. I've been doing it for a really long time and I've won awards and written books. I'm not a hack, you know?
I had forgotten this is where we get magical vodka Negro.
Oh, God, yes. I had forgotten that too. And I laughed so hard.
Don't mess with a magical vodka Negro. I'm going to take your woman and your drink.
Mm-hmm. And all of this is to like, we need to change the subject if you're thinking that I have anything to do with the Soviets.
Yeah. Okay, we skipped. There's a great exchange where Claudia comes back and is like, Daddy, I fell out of a tree. Where it's like her arm looks so terrible. I'm like, nobody followed him out to check on. I mean, I guess everybody's nervous about the Americans anyway. But
well, there's something out there in the dark, so let's not go fuck with it.
She says, was it a vampire? It's got fangs. What else would it be? And he goes, I don't know. A baboon? A baboon?
Oh,
we're in Romania.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's a great exchange, but I had missed it previously. Louis says, what are we looking for, Claudia? Adam and Eve of the damned?
Mm-hmm.
God? Are we looking for God, Claudia? Adam and Eve of the damned, though. I like, well, we're close. Different titles, sir. Different titles.
But
yeah,
you know,
in fact,
yeah,
they're coming.
It's just so hard for him to understand why she needs more. You know, and it's so strange to me because he wants more.
Yes.
In a different way than her. You know, it's like, and he doesn't need to know about being a vampire. He doesn't care about that. But he has had aspects of his life where he has pursued more. He wants more from Lestat. He wants more from his businesses. He wants more respect. He wants more power. Like, the fact that she wants more information is so hard for him to understand is so crazy to me.
Here's the line. I've known exactly 4 vampires, and you've all been the worst.
The worst.
Lestat, Antoinette, the motherfucker, and you. And for a minute, I was like, who's the mother? Oh, the catfish with teeth. Yes, okay, all right. So she is he's like, why would you want to pursue the catfish with teeth? She's like, I've known 4. Y'all 3 suck. He's not great, but I do want to see what he's about, actually.
The 4th one is Bruce. The 4th one's Killer.
Oh, the motherfucker. That's right. She's not even talking about, I forgot about Bruce. Good call. And I don't know that she's ever said his name to Louis, has she?
No, she calls him, she calls him motherfucker. The motherfucker. Yeah, no.
That's right.
That's why I'm interested in this fucking weird thing in the forest.
Good catch. Good catch.
There's got to be someone better out there than the 3 of you, the 4 of you.
Man, okay. And I'm fairly certain I had missed this previously as well. When we meet Daciana, before we hear her name, they're trying to communicate to her that they are vampires, and she says, "We own the night." That's a nice little bit of poetry. Let me stick that in my bag for use later, Louis.
Yes.
Okay, we get a name here, Shazar Romuli, which we've read pretty deep in these books, Ashley, very recently. I am 99% certain that one's invented for the series specifically.
I have not.
I think we've looked him up before. I'm looking him up now.
Getting that alphabetary.
I know, right? I was like, I got an alphabetary here for just such a thing.
For just such occasions.
There are no Cesars. I'm going to go look up Romuli. I don't remember that name either.
Those don't sound familiar. Now, I do know that I'm not finished, so who knows? But
well, I was going to say maybe introduced in the latter books, but no, I don't see that name either. I think this is totally invented for the thing. And the way that it comes off, I don't think this is like a hidden Easter egg that we're going to come back to either.
No,
honestly.
It's just her searching her, like, what she's found so far. It's kind of letting us, know her.
And that Daciana does, there used to be some sort of network of vampires in this area that Daciana was a part of, but now she's left behind. We get the cool moment where Claudia offers some of her own blood, which for us is so funny to think about because like Claudia is the weakest vampire basically of any of the vampires in our show so far. And yet for Daciana, she says like cream from the top of the milk bucket. So many nights on the Devil's Road. And then she introduces herself, Daciana, Louis, Claudia. And then she says, "We own nothing." And she jumps in the fucking fire.
Jumps right in the fire. What an exit. Our gal went out in style. She's like, this, nothing. I'll never get any of this back. I can't. I don't have the energy for it. It's also that kind of like, God, I just don't have the energy to try any of this again, to try to fix this. I'd rather take a break now.
I saw a pretty good reel from a new creator that I had never seen before. It popped up in my For You page that said, did you know, or have you thought about that we've only got one scene in Interview with the Vampire so far that actually features Lestat? And they're talking about the fact that it's someone else's interpretation of Lestat, except for that final scene of season 2 in New Orleans again, which we'll get there eventually. Likewise, though, I asked Judah, did you notice we got something that we hadn't gotten in this episode? And he's like, what? And I say, we got a scene that doesn't involve Daniel. And he was like, oh, the bedroom scene. And I'm like, yeah, we see Louis and Armand theoretically when they are off the clock. There's no performance there for Daniel, right? He's like, oh, that's a great point. So we get some great interactions in this. First of all, I love that it's a disagreement. You can tell so much about a couple about while watching them through a disagreement, a negotiation, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Armand is saying we got to shut this thing down. It's his. Louis pushes back, says it's his job. Armand says it's his drug. He's reveling in it. First of all, knowing what we know about Daniel from the books, I think it's his drug is a very specific reference and a pointed. It's effectively like it's effectively like Daniel saying your rent boy for Armand. It is a very similar move, as a matter of fact. Armand says, the boy we met in San Francisco, he's still in there. We can find him. We do it together, like everything else we've done for the past 70 years. Okay. First of all, still, and I know we've mentioned this before, the number one thing that sticks out to me in this scene is Louis and Armand disagreeing with each other, Armand effectively giving in to Louis. I'll have Rashid arrange the papers, and getting the slightest little peck on the cheek. But Armand was not there for a peck on the cheek. Armand was not there for a smack. Armand was there for some lovin'. And yes, probably he was actually there for some booty, but maybe just deep kiss me, right? Like throw me back and dip me and show me that you love me once in a while. Pretty please. And I will say, Louis is a withholding motherfucker, ain't he?
Well, I would say too, like, is this the time to be asking me for some booty?
Deep
Like,
kiss, Ashley. I'm
read
saying
the
booty is
room.
welcome.
Look,
Booty is welcome,
listen,
but a deep kiss.
I don't know. If I'm not in the mood to give you a deep kiss, I'm not gonna. Just because you need one. Bodily
We'll just
autonomy,
say-
Joel. Bodily
Yes.
autonomy.
Yes, but also like
No,
and
but it
like
is.
the love languages is bullshit. But genuinely, some people only fucking get affirmation through physical affection. It's
No,
like,
it's very true. And
hey,
and
man.
I totally agree with you that this is definitely laid out there to show us all the dysfunction in this relationship. 100%. I just don't necessarily think that this is the time and the place to like expect me to tongue you down.
to go from that, and first of all, like, clearly it's not the first time that this interaction has gone this way, because Armand immediately settles into it. Turns out it's bedtime.
Yep.
Okay, lights out then. Great. And dramatically folds that iPad to put it away, don't he?
Oh, the drama.
But to go from that scene and then, we sweep in. Here I am. I'm ready to join the conversation. Members of my coven had no... We'll get to you in a minute.
We'll get to you. I'm not there yet. We haven't even met you yet, buddy. Calm down. I'm in charge.
Soft words and hard words.
This scene was so great again.
None of this comes from the book, y'all. None of this. There's so much wonderful poetry in this show that does come directly from Anne's words. This ain't none of this is in the book. And yet, it's one of Louis's best monologues in the whole show.
Yeah.
I think it's the best scene in this whole episode, specifically in what is a great episode. This is a 5 out of 5 episode.
Oh,
this is the best scene in it.
Yeah.
And it's just all on him. It's just all on him we've talked about this before, like the difficulties of communication. I'd say all the time, I wish I could mind meld, but like Louis does it here. They're unhappy with each other. They're unhappy with their circumstances. They do not know where they're going. Everything so far has been a failure. We've discovered it's 4 years worth of failure. This is not like... I
thought it was like 7.
Maybe it's 4 when Lestat says, oh, yeah, you're right, it is longer. It's 4 when we first see Ghost Lestat. He says 4 years of wandering, and then it's another however long until after they meet Daciana. You're right, it's closer to 7. So a long time they have been on the road before they make it to Paris. And yet, he cuts through all of it and says things that aren't just platitudes. I want to get it right. If you were the last vampire on Earth, it would be enough. And I just talked about him being withholding to Armand as he was in season 1 to Lestat sometimes. He's not withholding from Claudia here in this moment. And I know we see Ghost Lestat there or whatever. Yes, that's true. But I don't think it is.
He wants what he's saying to be true. He wants what he's saying to be true.
I think he is doing his damnedest to make it true. And I do think he means his commitment. He says, as long as you walk the earth, I'll never face the fire.
I agree. Yeah, that's a commitment he's
That
making
is
to her.
that's one you can count. You can build your foundation on that one, you know?
Yeah.
Also, I agree with him, his fundamental premise that a shit life beats no life. I had this conversation with my youngest son today. Like, we were talking about somebody who has poor emotional and mental health, and they have distanced themselves from so much of their social network that when they struggle, it's a very deep hole, right? And even from family, like they've built barriers and borders that make those moments hard for anybody to sort out. And I was telling him, I'm like, it does not matter. There's no place you can go. There's no partner you can be with. There's no amount of money you can have that every day and every moment will be good. So you have to build scaffolding for yourself. You have to build emotional scaffolding and social scaffolding. And that involves investment in each other. Like, it's not, your relationships are not transactional, but if you're never there for your friends in any way, if you never pick up the phone, if you never show up, then no one will be there for you when it matters either. So in this moment, I do think,
also,
like,
when you close yourself off like that, people can't reach you. You make yourself unreachable, which is a really challenging thing for other people to overcome who are trying to be there for you.
Yeah, it's like, I love you, but like, I love you from over here is about all I can do now because of, and anyway, it's a hard place to be in. But this is Louis trying, and I think he means it. I think he is genuinely trying to build some scaffolding here for the two of them, and I think Claudia takes it, and we see the benefits of it at the beginning of next episode, at least. Like, they begin to build a little life for themselves here.
And they just, here's the other thing,
Paris.
like, we can have fun. We don't have to just suffer through this whole fucking thing. We can look for other vampires and wear nice clothes. We can look for other vampires and, live in
photography.
Live in a house, take up photography, read some books, join a theater company. We can do this in a different way. We don't have to suffer. You don't have to, it's like artists acting like you have to suffer and really, really hurt to create art. No, not everything has to be, you don't have to drag yourself over the coals for every single thing. You can just have a little bit of fun, even a vampire.
Yeah. Stephen King did write good books on cocaine and alcohol. He doesn't have to have the alcohol and cocaine to write good books, though.
Yeah.
Like, he's proved both sides of that.
Yeah. And as far as, I think you're right. I think Louis wants those promises to be true, but I do think it's unrealistic to say that I'm never going to put anyone else before you when all he's ever done is put someone else before her. And I mean, I wouldn't buy it, is all I'm saying. It would take a little bit more. I would not believe that piece of it 100%. And I don't think Claudia does either, which is why when Armand hits, she knows immediately the score, Yeah,
she is on tenterhooks, so to speak, for
It's like when you get back
Armand's
together with
arrival.
somebody that's cheated on you. Like, you're just waiting for them to cheat on you again. Like,
it's a real fool me twice situation, Ashley. It's for sure.
I got fooled so many times once, Joel, and I just kept being a moron that had shit their pants and sat in it. So I understand her armor, that she puts up. And I even understand her, maybe even having an overreaction to Armand at first, but it's just because of that fear.
Yeah. Okay. I will point this out. Ghost, Dreamstat, whatever, is there for the whole you and me conversation, that whole delivery. However, we never cut to him during it. The whole you and me is just Louis
for her
and Claudia. Louis and Claudia.
Yeah.
We cut back a couple of times for the two of them, and we see that Lestat is still there when it is over. So I think it is both things. I think the lingering question, is he going to come kill us? And also, did I do the right thing by letting him live? Did I do the right thing by freeing Claudia from him, etc.? That whole moral quandary for Louis is always going to continue to hang over them. And also, he is genuinely committing to Claudia in this moment. I think both things are true.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful to watch Jacob do it. It's
he's
so fucking good.
He's amazing. He's amazing in those moments. 100%. This is great in this whole episode, but that particular scene is just.
Okay, we got to the end of the episode, and Judah and I are talking specifically about, which, by the way, if you've missed some of our conversations, I'm watching this with my 18-year-old. Holy shit, he's 18. I forget that sometimes.
Yep.
I'm watching this with my 18-year-old son right now, and we get to the end, and we're talking about that bedroom scene specifically, and I'm like, okay, what do you take away from that scene? The first thing he said, okay, so I got the relationship wrong. It's not really like. Armand's not really serving him, not like I worship a god kind of thing. However, I still do think there's something to the fact that Louis has the fire gift, and maybe that's given him some sort of power or authority or something. So he still thinks there's literally like a superpower element of it that makes their relationship sort of imbalanced. Not just the relationship aspect of it, which is more the truth. One needs the other one a little bit more than the other one needs them, it turns out. But here's the favorite quote. And genuinely, this is like put it on a shirt. He said, I trust Lestat more than I trust Armand right now. Okay. He said, I know what Lestat. He said, well, I know we haven't gotten Lestat's story yet, but I feel like I know what Lestat is going to do in any situation. I could calculate and triangulate and be like, okay, I can expect what he's going to do. And I'm like, I think that's fair. You at least know the Lestat that you've been presented so far. You know what that Lestat would do. He's like, yeah.
And his behavior is somewhat predictable. Let's be real.
Yeah. He said, I don't know anything about Armand. And what I do know is weird.
Oh, yes. Wait till you get his backstory, babe.
We were talking about the iPad, and he goes, oh, the fact that there would be a vampire with an iPad is just like, yeah, of course one would be. I bet he's way into crypto too. And I couldn't help myself. I said, okay, Judah, I don't even remember. I don't remember the specific details of like who is describing this to us and what chapter it comes in. But there is a point in one of the books where we discover that Armand becomes enamored with blenders and has many, many blenders and makes them try him out on multiple things. And he was like, that's perfect. I said, so the iPad was very much, we were like, big iPad boy. Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense for Armand. I don't know anything about Armand, and what I do know is weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Heard, Judah. 100%.
All right, that is episode 1 of season 2. There's 8 episodes in season 2, right? Yeah, I think we got 15 total.
Because we got 7, 8, 7.
7, 8, and 7. Okay. I guess we'll take 22 total for now. All right. We will be back next week with episode 2 of season 2 as they finally arrive in Paris. And who else might show up next week? I don't know.
We don't know. I guess we might see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, if you are a patron or would like to become one, you should stick around. We're going to be talking about Castle Rock episode 6, Filter, in our Afterlife segment. Man, that Castle Rock show's real good, y'all.
Real good. Real good.
Real good. All right. Until next time, we have been your hosts. I'm Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven.
Thank you for sharing this time with the Articulate Coven. Support the show as either a free or paid member at articulatecoven.com/join. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Find more from the Coven with our sister show, Flan Again, covering the works of Mike Flanagan.